Alright, folks. So yesterday was the 58th day of protests in the city of Elizabeth City over the police murder of Andrew Brown Jr. And, we started in a different location today because there is going to be a Black Lives Matter, mural thing painted on the street that we normally start the protests on. And they're beginning the construction process of that, so that's cool, I guess. So we started on the other street, one street parallel. And look at this dog. This dog is important. This dog is very important. And so we met here. We were a little worried that no one was going to show up because we're in a different spot, but then everyone showed up and then we had a good time. So we marched through neighborhoods once again. One of the things that we've been doing is we've been going through neighborhoods and then kind of wrapping around through major roads. That's been something that we've been doing. Recently, I think it's decent, I don't necessarily think that, the idea of, screaming release the tape in a bunch of, people's houses that, have nothing to do with it. I mean, it's a little silly, but, at the same time, it gets people involved. So I think that's a net positive. So we start at Main Street, go all the way down from Road Street, all the way down to some neighborhoods. And so we had a bunch of people show up on their porches, wave at us, all that kind of stuff. Super cool, super cool. So we crossed into a specific neighborhood that I may or may not be familiar with. We had a little break here. This was there's a location right here where someone was shot and killed maybe a week ago. So we did a little break here and had a moment of silence for that. And then we continued going through some neighborhoods. So we went through and we saw one of the houses where Andrew Brown grew up in, according to someone that they knew. And so that's pretty interesting. And when we wrapped back around to where we started, remember that dog I was talking about earlier? This is really, really funny. So this lady has a meltdown. I'm just going to turn the audio on for this one. This is really good. What's the problem? What's the problem?
I'm curious if they called the police.
Say his name.
Call him.
What?
You me dollar
Say
boy.
what? Call him for what?
Okay, so this is really very, very good content here. Right? It's very, very, very good content here. So this lady right here. Now, I want to, for those of you that don't know, at the start here, this van was here and I took a picture of the dog. Right? So I don't know if they were upset at the idea that I was taking a picture of the dog. Right? And then they came to yell about it later. I'm not sure. Right? So they came out here and, basically said, don't leave my dog alone. So these are contractors that were fixing something in the courthouse. They were here before, we started the march and they were still here working afterwards. So this is something that these people are hired by the city of Elizabeth City to do repairs or work in the courthouse. So that's one of my problems here. If you are hiring someone who calls Black Lives Matter protesters the real racists, I've got news for you. That's a problem for me, right? So let's just, so this lady in the purple says, y'all the real racists. What the fuck? And so my response, what the fuck? Excuse me. So what I do is I immediately go take more photos of the dog. So as you can see, here's the dog. So she rolled up the fucking window and the dog for the next 5 minutes was panting.
What the hell was that shit, man? That was Omega Karen energy.
So it gets even better. So I got her little license plate for the work car. And so I see that she is staring at us through the window, the Karen. And so this is really good stuff here. So I give her a wave, right? And she gives me the bitch wave. And so I respond with the bitch wave. And so we're having a bitch wave off, right? This is a serious, this is a battle of ideas. We're having a bitch wave off. And so I have a noisemaker. Little clappy hands that you got at a party, that someone got at a party store. And they gave them to me so that, if, I can do this and make a lot of noise without screaming. And so I had them, so I pulled them out, and then I started waving the fucking noisemaker at her, and then she started laughing, so watch this. That's what that noise is. So she's waving at me with her hand, and I grab the fucking like fake hand clapping machine, like little plastic toy, and I start waving it at her, and she like cracks up and walks away, and I thought that was pretty funny. I made her laugh. I made her laugh. Huge win, folks. But anyway, this is like the people that the city of Elizabeth City is hiring for the repairs. They can't hire people that, you know, maybe aren't just racist. Like you don't have to necessarily hire super duper activists. But why are you hiring like explicit racists? They get pissed off and they see black people like just existing. Like it's ridiculous, man. It's fucking ludicrous. But yesterday's march was pretty good. Again, I personally, my preference is to go through the major roads as long as possible. But I understand why some people, like, again, if we're doing this for fucking 58 days in a row, it's okay, I guess, to switch it up every now and then. And so, you know, it's a huge thing that we're planning. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about. Is that apparently Governor Roy Cooper is going to be coming in the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to be within a 50-foot radius of the governor, and so that's going to be cool. You bet your sweet bippy I'll be asking some interesting questions. And so apparently, yeah, so Roy Cooper, you know how they did, they went to Raleigh a while ago, so Roy Cooper has responded. We don't have an official date yet, but he has said that he is planning to come over within the next 2 weeks, so that's the idea. And so we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that does anything, and I'm looking forward to that one, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, again, that's pretty much it.